So you've just unlocked your favourite gun for Cold War and you want to know what the best attachments are to use on your favourite gun. This video is going to go over the 15 best attachments you can use for any gun inside Cold War. If you enjoy videos like this, weapon breakdowns, weapon comparisons, or just stat videos in general, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as this is the kind of videos and content we make here, and we will be making a lot more videos on Cold War as well as Warzone going into the future. To start off this video, we're going to take a look at the optics. Now, the first optic I would recommend is the Microflex LED, especially if you're using an SMG or an assault rifle. Now, this is not available for every single weapon in the game, which is a bit annoying. So at number 1, we have the Millstop Reflex, and the reason why I've put this at number 1 is because it's available across all the guns inside the game, and if you want to get used to using one attachment, this is the one you should be using because it is the cleanest. Second, we have the Sillix Holoscout. Now this is if you want to use a slightly more zoomed in optic, and the Holoscout is definitely a great holographic scope, so I'd recommend using either the Sillix Holoscout or the Millstop Reflex, and this comes in at number 1 and number 2. At number 3, we have the suppressor. Now this is just a standard suppressor, not the agency suppressor. The agency suppressor does give you an advantage to vertical recoil, which is very easy to manage anyway, but it also affects your damage range and bullet velocity even more than the standard suppressor does, and you want to keep the maximum possible range with all your weapons as you can, and that's why the standard suppressor is definitely the best option here. Now keep in mind, this is called the Sound Suppressor or also the Silencer. For barrel options, at number 4 we have the Reinforced Heavy Barrel. Now this is standard across most of the guns in the game, and it gives you an effective damage range increase as well as a bullet velocity increase, and it only affects your aim walking move speed and your sprint move speed, which isn't too much of a negative, so that's why the Reinforced Heavy Barrel is a great option. And then the 5th attachment is the Task Force Barrel, which increases your damage range and your bullet velocity, but you can see in the cons here that it affects your vertical recoil as well as your horizontal recoil, which is definitely some major cons to the pros that you get with this barrel, but it really depends on personal preference. I do think the Reinforced Heavy Barrel is a great option too. For the body attachments, we have the Steady Aim Laser coming in at number 6, and the Steady Aim Laser is a great attachment to increase your hipfire accuracy by 20% with no cons. And then after that we have number 7, which is the 5mW laser, which increases your hipfire accuracy by 40%, but it does reduce your aim down sight time. Now the rest of the attachments in this category only give you reveal distance, which puts a tag on the enemy's head if you're not aimed down sight and you just so happens to spot them, but this is only good for maps like Cartel where you can't see that good. Coming in at number 8, we have the Foregrip. Now this is one of the best attachments in the entire game for any gun. This helps with horizontal recoil control, which is really hard to manage inside this game, and it gives you no cons whatsoever. So if you have a spare attachment slot, this is the attachment you should be using. Now at number 9, we then have the Field Agent Grip, which helps with more vertical recoil control, horizontal recoil control, but at 20% this time, and then it only affects your shooting movement speed. So overall, this is the best attachment to control your recoil. Coming in at number 10, we have the 40 round mags. Now the actual size of magazine differs depending on the gun, but what this gives you is starting max ammo. It also gives you more ammo capacity as well as a larger magazine, of course. And then on top of that, the next attachment I would recommend at number 11 would be the jungle style mags. Now this gives you 20% reload quickness. Now it's slightly different for every other gun, so for SMGs it's slightly less, and then for LMGs it's slightly more, but this is a great option. Both of these are great options with the least amount of cons, so this is why I recommend either the 40 round mags or the jungle style mag, which is also known as fast mags as well for LMGs. Coming in at 12, we have the Speed Tape, which gives you 10% faster aim down sight time. This gives you no cons whatsoever, so this is a great option. We also have at 13 the Dropshot Wrap, which gives you no cons again, but allows you to drop shot enemies, which you can't do as standard inside this game, so this will definitely give you a great advantage. If you want to have both, you can go with the Airborn Elastic Wrap, which gives you faster aim down sight time, 90% flinch resistance, and you can also drop shot enemies with this as well. Remember that you do get a con to your shooting movement speed and sprint to fire time, This is not a huge con, but it is quite noticeable, whereas the other two attachments don't affect you in any way negatively. Coming in at number 15, we have the wire stock. Now this is standard across most of the attachments. It is known as the collapsible stock for the MP5, but this increases your sprint to fire time by 10%. Now if you've used all the previous attachments and it's reduced your sprint to fire time, this is a great attachment just to add on at the end, just to help bring that back up again. But also, if you just want to have faster sprint to fire time, this is a great option because it has zero cons. So that is the 15 best attachments across all of the weapons inside Black Ops Cold War. Now, this might not work well for sniper rifles, for example, or anything like that, or special weapons such as shotguns or pistols, but for most of the fully automatic weapons inside Cold War, these attachments will work really well. So if you weren't really too sure which ones to use, these are the attachments you should be using, or a combination of these attachments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave us a like, as it helps us know that you enjoy this kind of content. On top of that, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, as we're going to be making a lot more Cold War content along with when it transitions over into Warzone as well. So subscribe for that, and we're going to be doing a lot more comparisons, weapon guides, and also stat breakdowns of all the guns too. And thank you very much for watching.